Hello and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I'm Sam Cherry.
And welcome back to the Data Boys, the boys who talk about the data of their own podcast in a self-congratulatory sort of intro. But if anything, it's actually a congratulations to you, the listeners, for getting us here, because we wouldn't be anyone without our fans. And
well, don't go crazy.
Oh, well, I mean, so you guys give us the life energy to do this. You guys have been clamoring for all that ad space from companies that I'm not going to reference right now because they have not gotten in contact with us at meetthefockers2 fuckedup@gmail.com. And if they don't reach us from there, then they are cowards. Cowards. Yeah, we have just surpassed 1,000 listens for the entirety of our show, which is a milestone. It definitely feels like we're getting some forward momentum. I was telling Sam before the episode started that August is set to be on track to be more than double what our previous months have been, which is super cool. That's really great. It really feels like we're gaining traction, and we're just going to be working extra hard to get it to where you guys can share our stuff more effectively and get more people on board.
And so we can fucking sell out.
Yes, sell out.
So ready to sell out.
That is what this is about. We are going to put that in the ether at the very beginning, so there is no question as to who we are or where our allegiance stands. It is with the almighty dollar.
Yeah, we're going to sell the fuck out.
I know you guys don't do podcast advertisements. Not yet, but we are here.
Just do it.
To sell whatever ugly ass shoe that you have on the docket. I have StockX, that app where you get to look at the shoes, and I gotta tell you, most of them are hideous. But if you give us money, that's the greatest shoe of all time.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I live a pretty vibrant life over here at the North Office.
That's fair.
I was gonna say that through looking at the numbers, we can see what episodes of ours are getting more traction than others, and I have found that the most traction we are getting with our episodes come from eclectic 80s references.
Sure.
Specifically with the Alf episode. You guys seem to really enjoy that one.
Those Alf heads, they're out there, man.
Those Alf heads are out there. We're finally cracking in. It is the most liked of our Instagram, which seems puzzling. But listen, if we asked on that show who we were going to be, if on that very video I say, do you guys want to know about Alf? Do you guys want to know about J Station? Do you guys want to know about
Matt Gates' Secret Adult Son?
Matt Gates' Secret Adult Son. And
Can't believe nobody voted for Matt Gates' Secret Adult Son.
It's been overwhelmingly Alf. So this is becoming an Alf-related podcast. We may do a thing where we watch the entire show and do a play-by-play of all the times that Alf eats a cat or threatens to eat a cat.
Sure.
And kind of divulge why people in the 80s might have thought that was funny. We might do that.
Well, also our least listened to episodes, shortlist, which is why the listeners will be happy to know that we've agreed to finish out the 2019.
Yeah. We're going to be doing
shortlist.
It. Yeah, shortlist is coming back, baby.
Because never forget, we're going to do whatever we want, no matter what. But we like that you listen.
Yes.
We like that you listen.
Another big one is the Street Sharks episode. Once again, just hitting it right in the...
This can't turn into a best of episode. We've had 50 episodes.
It's not a best of episode. This is leading to what is going to be I think I'm just going to kind of shoehorn in an Instagram ad just so I can get all those sweet views.
Got it.
And so I am learning that our audience specifically likes misremembered references from shows they might have seen or might have seen 2 or 3 episodes of, and just generally like the style of.
Zach, if that is true, I buckle the fuck up, because I've got some script doctor shows for you that I am gonna half remember and also are from the 80s. So
yes,
one of them is, but who cares?
So this is honestly, because we're past 1,000 listens, this episode is for you, the audience. We are finally giving you all of the things that you want. We are giving you Script Doctor, which you seem to have responded to. We're giving you Matt Gates' Secret Adult Son,
Some
which you
other
guys didn't really
shit.
resonate with, but kind of stuff that we definitely want to talk about. We're gonna talk about Jim and the Holograms.
Sure.
We're gonna talk about Jim and the Holograms again. We're going to talk about those two things. Some Script Doctor. I need to look up a list of 80s animated shows.
I will say, unfortunately, Gem, they did just do a Wizard and the Bruiser episode of Gem and the Hologram. And while we did just kind of rip them off for 2 episodes for Taylor Swift, we can't literally rip them off for an episode.
Yeah.
While you're looking up silly shows.
But that's okay because, guys, you know what we got? We got My Little Pony, the one from the 1980s, not Friendship is Magic.
Got it.
We got She-Ra.
One from the 1980s, not the one from 2019.
Yes, the one that people seem to be upset about. We got the Masters of the Universe and He-Man.
Also from the 80s and not the other one.
Yeah. We got Thundar and the Barbarian. That's coming at you hot. Thundar and the Barbarian.
That one.
And one that Sam and I actually have an attachment to. We're going to talk about Thundercats.
The one from the 1980s, not the one from the
1980s, not the newer one. But yeah, in college, this is also because this is an episode for you. This is an episode. This is not for us. We don't care about this.
We know you love when we talk about college.
We don't care about these misremembered 80s shows that we haven't seen but barely remember. And we don't like talking about how Sam and I went to college together.
We did go to college. I don't know if anyone's gotten that. We did go to college together.
We're doing this for you guys.
You were in my wedding.
Yeah. Once upon a time, when Sam and I were at the beginning of our friendship, we decided to watch some episodes of Thundercats.
Well, because I had the box set of season 1 from my friend Logan Halperter.
Yes, friend of the show, Logan, and friend of Thundercats, Logan. He had given us this box set of Thundercats, and I think we got about 2 episodes in when we found what has to be the greatest episode of television ever put to film, which is the Herbally Burble one.
Yep, with the robot bears.
Yes, so there is an episode, and it's actually redone in the reboot. They do the Herbally Burbles.
Is it
again.
just as racist? not racist. It's just that Lionel's kind of a bigot. I don't know what kind of bigot, but he's definitely a bigot.
Yes. So no, they do it. I don't think they have
great.
that one line that we're leading up to. But for those that don't know, the Thundercats, Lion-O is this old king who is supposed to be a kid that gets like frozen in time or whatever, and he pops out as I'm assuming that Cats the musical was big back then,
sure,
and people kind of looked like the cats from that show. They had like
the
big
cats from Cats.
Big pulsing muscles and like really Ronald McDonald troll style hair.
They're human men and women
with definitive faces.
Yeah,
like
human
but
faces.
They were like, we're cats, and they wear like boots, and they have on like really what would be really skimpy human clothes.
And Panther
but it's okay
doesn't look like a
cats. And it's a group of them, and they're trying to get their ship working. It does not matter. They're being chased around by this guy named Mum-Ra. Nothing matters.
I mean, it's a ripoff of He-Man. It is a show made explicitly to sell toys, which is a ripoff of a different show explicitly made to sell toys.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I bet it's made by the same studio. Oh, hey, I could get all 4 seasons on Amazon right now for $1.99.
Yeah, they're all made by the same people. I think He-Man. Oh, my mouth. He-Man, She-Ra, and Transformers, I think is Japanese, but yeah, they're all made by like the same people. And G.I. Joe, it's all the same guy.
Yes.
I think, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I guess Thundercats was obviously to give birth to the furry era.
Yeah.
And they did a pretty good job. It's still going strong. So there is this episode where Lion-O gets captured by these robot teddy bears, and they're very clearly just teddy bears, but they have robot faces, and the only way that they can communicate is by going burble, burbly burble.
Okay, but that's the fucking thing. Is at first, and then they can just fully talk, but it's they just like that's how they talk at first, and I know what you're getting to, but it's important that later in the series or later in the episode, like 2 minutes later, because this whole thing is at breakneck speed. where like things change so fast and it's an insane plot. But then they just start talking in full sentences. But the way that they did the voice modification for the voice actors, you cannot understand a goddamn word they said. So they might as well say Herbal Burbles the whole time, but they are speaking English the next scene. But for some reason, they say Herbal Burbles when they first meet him.
Yeah, and you just got to look up these things. It looks like a group of
It looks like
robots.
nothing.
It looks like a group of robots that skinned some animals out in the forest and just like have draped it over their shoulders and like what is their ears. They have big red noses. These things are nightmares. But Lionel's chained up, or he's tied up to like a tree or whatever, and they go burble, burbly, burble, and then Lionel says, burbly, gerbil, burble, burble.
Like he's doing like a racist impression.
Yeah, like he's like making fun of them to their face, these things that have captured him. And then the next scene, one of them pulls out a knife. Like he pulls a knife out on him.
Like you know those G.I. Joe, if you've never seen this, you ought to. Not you, Zach, I know you've seen it, but the G.I. Joe PSAs where they like redub over. So there were all these G.I. Joe PSAs in the 80s. And then they would redub over them with like silly audio. So they'd be like, this kid, he's like, so there's lots of cursing and lots of like, just like silly random jokes. But stuff will happen.
Stick it, see you later, bye.
Flip it, stick it, see you later, bye. Pork chop sandwiches. This whole, look at all their funny hats. All that. Or different color outfits, maybe. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so, but the timing is really weird. On purpose for a joke. This whole episode of Thundercats plays like a G.I. Joe PSA, like a edited, because you're just like, sorry, well, okay, and now there's a bunch of bugs, and they're the bad guys, but they're not the bad guys. These are the bad guys. No, they're actually not the bad guys. These are the bad guys. Now the sword can fly, and you're like, fucking okay.
Yeah, there's a scene where he gets on like a really big bug and he like flies it into a volcano.
A really big bug that started as a bunch of other bugs and then became one big bug.
It is, it comes one big bug. Hey, everybody.
Hey, I'm one big bug.
Hey, I'm one big bug. I heard you guys wanted me. And so he flies this bug into a volcano and then his sword like flies him out of there. And then he goes and meets up with the rest of the gang, and they're like, Lionel, where were you? And he is just like, fucking hanging out. Leave me alone. Like, get off my back.
Literally, he's like, it's a long story. And they're like, okay. And that's the, like, what's crazy is it's a fiction. I need to remind you, it's a fiction. They didn't have to have him ask. He didn't have to ask. He could have, like, flown to the edge of the woods and just walked in, and they'd been like, oh, hey, Lionel, we're, what took you so long? And then fade to black. They didn't need to do this, but he comes down with his sword and like flies down there, and they're like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Long story." It's like, why did you make this? Why did you create this problem for him to solve? Where he had to explain himself. Also, all of those shows were made by different people. I say things that are wrong a lot on this show.
Okay, well, now that we know, this is a real-time correction. This is we should start offering corrections the week after, but this is a real-time. Hey everybody, I'm Zach Johnson. We've had a lot of fun last week, but this is the part of the episode where we make corrections. About 30 seconds ago, we had said that it was Thundercats and G.I. Joe and He-Man were all made by the same people. Turns out that's not the case at all.
I haven't figured out exactly who G.I. Joe is made by. Maybe it's Paramount, so maybe it's the same people that made...
G.I. Joe was made by a 20-year-old
He-Man.
Dick Cheney.
That's probably
was
true.
Trying to get people in the army.
I know no one cares, but He-Man was made by Filmation, and Thundercats was made by Pacific Animation Corporation, and I don't care enough to figure out who G.I. Joe is made by, so close the tabs.
Joe.
G.I. Joe. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, all this to say, that's the episode. That's who we are now. We're Thundercats. We're She-Ra. We're Thunder and the Barbarians. This is who we are. This is what you guys want, and we might sprinkle in a little bit of Matt Gade's Secret Son if you guys still are maybe want to know about that.
God, I want to talk about Matt Grade's Secret Adult Son so badly. I have some follow-up from last week before we move on. I guess as we move on, as we go on, we remember.
Yeah. But this has been a 16-minute intro, so
that's true. I guess we're probably good.
Yeah, just essentially, thank you guys for 1,000 listens. Thank you for continuing to support us and share us and all that you guys do. And you guys deserve this. This is what you deserve. Thundercats.
This is what you deserve. But also thank you.
Yes.
So, 2 follow-ups. Remember my kiss of a recommendation last week for Long Gone Gulch and Has Been Hotel?
Mm-hmm.
So turns out I've consumed all of it because I was very wrong about both of them. Not very wrong, but wrong for sure. As we have mentioned before, I get a lot of things wrong on the show.
Yeah. Let me pull up the art on this.
So Long Gone Gulch is what I had seen of it was the concept art. It has a trailer and a fully funded pilot episode. The last update being in May, saying that all of the animation is done. So they're still doing some of the audio and then the compositing. So I don't know when the show will be out, but all of the animation was done as of May 2020. There is a trailer. I've just seen a bunch of the art, thought it was a show. Oh, it is also made by Tara Billinger, Billinger. She is nice on the internet, which is how I knew about this show.
Okay.
Number 2 of 2, Has Been Hotel is made by Vivienne, maybe Vivienne. Vivienne?
That seems like Vivian. It seemed like he spelled Vivian.
I'm pretty much fucking illiterate, so I'm not sure. Vivian Medrano. I don't know. Fuck, I can't fucking read.
You put this on yourself.
I know, I can't fucking read.
You just really wanted this to happen.
Well, I can say all the other words. It's just people's names. I know people get upset when you mess up their name. Medrano.
Yeah, the entire time you were trying to pronounce her name, I was looking up Has Been Hotel DeviantArt, and I gotta tell you, it exists.
Well, that's why I thought it was a horny show. It is a little. There's one character who's a prostitute. It's very much an adult show, so there's lots of cursing and sexual themes, but not a ton. Not like it's not a weird. But anyway, so that is more than a trailer. It's a full pilot. There's a 22-minute pilot. The woman Vivian who made it also made another pilot called Hell of a Boss. You're sending me images.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and ruin your whole life.
This is Bronies, but it's also Has Been Hotel.
Yes, it is the characters of Has Been Hotel reimagined as the characters from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
Wow.
Friendship is Magic. I didn't mispronounce it. I don't want that hate. I don't want the smoke.
I'll be honest, I talk a lot of shit. I also don't want that smoke.
Yeah, so just letting you guys kind of know that exists, and I wanted to ruin your day. So anyway, continue.
That's a lot to take in. Anyway, so I thought it was good. It's a good show. But if you want to consume Has Been Hotel, it's on YouTube and there's one episode. Also Hell of a Boss, which I haven't watched yet. But it's a cool concept and a cool show. I don't. Oh, and then you said last week they got picked up by A24, so I guess we're gonna see more of that. But yeah, it's just a YouTube thing that someone made. And Long Gone Gulch is gonna come out with a pilot this year probably. So. Anyway, follow up. That was it.
Okay, that's great.
And I didn't mention the creator's name.
I was trying to look up Hell of a Boss, and instead I found my Google autocorrected to Hellboy DeviantArt. And I gotta tell you,
how Zach? How did it do that?
Well, so it didn't necessarily autocorrect as much as I started typing in hell, and then Google was like, Hellboy DeviantArt, and I was like,
sure.
Yes, yeah. That's what I was looking for.
How is it?
It's actually pretty tame. I would say that the people that draw Hellboy, I think, admire him more as a character than as a sexual icon. Now, don't get me wrong, there's sexual icon stuff in here, but I would say it's a bit more. It's a bit more tame, kind of drawing him the way. Oh, here's one. It's a mashup of Hellboy and Wolverine. So that's pretty cool.
Just 2 things.
Is anyone a doctor?
I'm just gonna warm you up. This is a warm up, okay?
Oh, okay. It
So,
has been a while. It's been a while.
well,
Oh no.
we
Hey everybody, please support our show and get us some of that sweet suit advertising money because I just blew $20,000 singing that
good.
little riff right there.
That's
We
really
will
good.
have to pay royalties to that.
I'm already getting texts about it, which is confusing to me. So here's the Wikipedia for our first one. This show is called Lewis and Clark.
Ooh.
It is not, as you would expect.
Holy shit. All right.
Not what you would think.
Everyone in your head, think of what you would imagine Lewis and Clark looking like and throw that out of a window and then throw an air conditioning unit on top of it because it is nothing like what you thought it was going to look like.
So this is a show about a New Yorker, Stuart Lewis, and he has a strange and some would say twisted ambition. Zach, give me 3 guesses of what this New Yorker's strange and twisted ambition might be. Is it?
I will start by telling you that both of these characters are me at different parts of the day.
Not different parts of your life, but different parts of the day. That's true. That tracks. That tracks.
So one of them is a smiley boy with a trucker hat on and a Hawaiian shirt.
Yes.
And the other one is
Less
a
smiley boy.
he's another smiley boy, but he has a big old mustache and he's dressed kind of like a cowboy with a bunch of hair, but like hair that goes up. And I'm trying to guess. Okay, what's the question?
What Stuart Lewis?
Okay,
he is the smiley boy on the right. He has a strange and some would say twisted ambition. What do you think it is?
I'm going by the picture alone. I'm going to guess that it's to be a rodeo clown.
Zach, you are close. He wants to own a country music club. His wife and kids.
Very strange and twisted.
Some would say twisted. His wife and kids hate the idea.
His wife and kids hate him.
Well, despite their misgivings, he moves the entire family to Lubbock, Texas, where he buys a cafe.
This show might as well be called Sand to the Beach.
I don't understand that reference.
Because, like, if you're going to start a country club, why are you going there? Like, start it somewhere that doesn't have one.
Now, I am looking at the total population of Lubbock as of 2006, and it does say the number 3. So that is confusing. Probably not true. So I'm just going to close that tab. It does say the number 3.
It does just say 3.
It might just be Lewis, Clark, and whichever kid he got in the divorce. That might be the entire. I'm going to go ahead and assume that is the population of Lubbock. The 2 main characters and whichever one of his 2 kids he got to keep in the divorce. So they buy a bar called the Nassau County Cafe. It's a joint that has had 9 owners in 6 years and a sign that says always under new management. It's a regular Bob's Burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the show sucks and immediately gets canceled. So my friends at NBC wanted us to bring it back. Now we need to get a modern take, a modern twist on this wacky concept. Let me get you one little tidbit. He runs the bar with his sidekick, Roscoe Clark.
That must be the smiley boy.
He is. He stands by. Stuart lets fly one-liners and bad puns. That is the entire premise of the show. He's a guy. He's from New York. He buys a bar and he tells bad puns.
He buys a bar in the untapped market of those other 2 people.
Of his business partner and his one kid.
Yes, and he gets a whole thing for them.
So they're in the bar, right?
Yes.
And
who's in the bar? So it's Lewis Clark and the kid.
Yeah, because everyone else is gone. So Lewis Clark and his one kid are in the bar, and this old woman comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, get some water. And he's talking and he's telling his jokes. He's doing his one-liners. He's doing his, and he's trying to get his kid to like him, but his kid's like, you left me in a nowhere town. I'm going to die here. So his kid isn't into it.
Mm-hmm.
And the old woman's like, can I get water? And he's just like zipping and zapping. And he's like, how about you know what?
Yeah, but
get it yourself.
He's saying because it says the show here, he only lets fly he lets fly one-liners and bad puns.
Right.
So as she's saying that, he's like, "Water? I hardly know her."
Exactly. And she says she rips off her robe, and she's a beautiful woman for some reason. And she's like, "You failed my test." And then she casts a magic spell. They go back in time, and they're Lewis and Clark. And now they're the actual Lewis and Clark, and the kid's like a raccoon or something. The kid becomes
the kid, becomes a raccoon. Yeah.
The kid sucks, but he's a talking raccoon now. So now Lewis and Clark and the talking raccoon have to discover Kentucky. Is that anything?
And quite a lot of other things.
Well, sure, but I just know it from 5th grade field trips. So mostly Kentucky.
Yeah, that's the first season is them trying to discover Kentucky.
Yeah, and they're like, "Whoa, this place would be great for horse racing and bourbon."
Yeah, and they do. Yeah,
I guess they're from the future. They know that Kentucky exists.
Yeah, exactly. I like to because like the one guy is already kind of dressed the way that Lewis and Clark might have. Like he can maybe pass away from it a bit. The guy that is wearing the trucker hat and the Hawaiian shirt, I want him to be in somehow a continuously changing like blue jeans, trucker hat, and Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, despite the fact that he went in the past.
Yeah, but it's like inexplicably different.
Maybe
like he has some sort of wardrobe of Hawaiian shirts and blue jeans.
Okay. So what he's saying, the reason that Lewis is so distracted is because Clark is telling him all about. He's like, "You won't believe it. I just went to this yard sale and I bought 50 Hawaiian shirts, and they're all in this suitcase." And so he's holding the suitcase with him with all his Hawaiian shirts and blue jeans.
Yeah.
When they get sent back in time.
Yeah. And a series in, that guy discovers Hawaii.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's like one of those like like the last episode. I'm pitching. You got to start at the end and then work your way backwards.
Yeah, it's what Breaking Bad did.
Yeah. And so you have to like have him get on a boat or whatever, and like they're leaving each other, and it's just like, wow, what a this is the American dream or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'll pitch in a joke for that later. And then like, credits, like they have like a little Welcome Back Kotter sounding song because that's the guy from Welcome Back Kotter.
Yeah.
And then he like discovers Hawaii, and it says like someone's like, "Hey man, I like your shirt," and he is just like, "I think I'm gonna like it here." And then he gets like a spin-off series.
Yeah, that it's
called like Clark and King Kamehameha.
Perfect. You nailed it in one. Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I'd watch that. I would definitely watch them going back in time. And I don't know, the rat kid raccoon dies of dysentery or something.
Yeah, like episode 1. They fucking hate this.
Yeah. He was kind of holding the show back, honestly.
All right. I feel like we're warmed up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might even cut the warm up.
I'm gonna tell you this. There's this one thing that I really want to mention about this town. As we were looking at it, this town currently holds the Guinness Book of World Records for most guitar players playing at the exact same time.
That's great to open a new dance hall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you, change it up. I'm gonna send you the theme song to this one season 1990s television show. And then I'll send you the Wikipedia, but I think we just need to, there's a lot to unpack in this theme song, and I want you, and I'm going to play it for the listeners as well. I want you all to experience this together. So I'm just going to send this your way. Go ahead and click on that bad boy.
Okay.
David Bueller. David Bueller.
This theme song so far could like not be any more from this time period. Whoa, hey.
Yep.
It's like the precursor to the Seinfeld theme song. Okay, that ending was actually tight as hell.
Yeah, that green screen work is pretty killer. Of course, we were talking about
the end where it goes. Ferris Bueller, where like they just got the DJ in the booth and like, "Brr, brr, 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 brr," like that's the mix.
So we are, of course, talking about the 1990s short-lived, beloved television show, Ferris Bueller. Now, let me send you the Wikipedia article for this gem.
Ooh.
This is an American sitcom based on the 1986 John Hughes film, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh.
Yada, 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 yada. It was canceled after its first season. Though based on the film, the series was not a canon continuation, but rather a setup to portray itself as the real-life situations upon which the film was loosely based.
Ah.
So the premise of the fictional television show, much like High School Musical, the series, is that this is a real kid who goes to a high school. His name is Ferris Bueller. His best friend's name, His best friend's name is Cameron Fire of Firefest fame. And they go to a real high school, and the movie Ferris Bueller was based off of their lives, and he's actually really pissed off at Matthew Broderick for doing a shitty job.
Okay.
Is the premise of the television show.
So immediately aggressive. Aggressive out the gate. That's great.
He cuts a big stand-up of Matthew Broderick in half with a chainsaw in the first episode.
Okay. That's seeming good. That is a good it's good to diversify and to let people know. That is also interesting. What I think is the most interesting thing that I can find currently is that this, like, I saw this in the Ferris Bueller theme song, which is Jennifer Aniston is in it.
She's very in it. She plays Jenny
Jennifer
Bueller.
Aniston is extremely in the show.
She's so in it. There are compilations that are just the Jennifer Aniston scenes from the Ferris Bueller television show.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Jennifer, she is very in this. Jennifer Aniston was also, and this has nothing to do with the show, and I'm sorry to the NBC executives that are wasting their time listening to this.
That's fine.
Jennifer Aniston was also in a movie called Leprechaun, and it was like her first movie. And Leprechaun is a wild ride, and if you have not seen it, please get that into your eyeballs. It is so good. It's like they wanted to take 1980s slasher movies and make fun of them, but then they accidentally made one instead.
It's a beautiful show. The sequel Lep 4, Lep in the Hood, also is a movie that exists. Yeah, they go on to make like 75 of them.
Yeah. Lep in the Hood though is actually it's actually pretty good. I
can't be true.
It'd be really
Absolutely
funny if that one was
true.
actually like super tastefully done and like
it won the
like,
Palme d'Or.
like written by Spike Lee. What the? All right, okay.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, of course, the 1990s television show Ferris Bueller. Now, tragically cut short, how do we bring back our good boys from Ferris Bueller? Here's an option. Look, we got Marvel, right? We've got DC. We've got the King Kong.
We have the Dark Universe. Don't forget about that.
I love that you fucking already knew where I was going. Let's bring in 16 Candles. Let's bring in Pretty in Pink. Let's have a John Hughes universe. I understand that 3 of those girls are Molly Ringwald. I don't fucking care. Mid-season, they all meet each other.
Here's the thing. We have 2 Ferris Bueller. With this, you don't even need to get... I think...
There's 3 different women who are later played. We have Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, and 16 Candles.
You're onto something, I think, but not in the fact that it's Molly Ringwald. I think that with this movie, it sets the precedent that there is the John Hughesniverse, the John Hughniverse,
the Hughesniverse, yeah,
the Hughniverse, and apart from the Hughniverse, there is
He-Man Masters of the Hughniverse.
There is He-Man's Masters of the Hughniverse, and the one that is directly parallel to that one is the one where Ferris Bueller is a real person.
Okay.
And there's a TV show about him. So with that in mind, you could just as easily be like, what's up, guys? I'm the real Molly Ringwald from 16 Candles.
Got it.
I'm the real Judd Law, whatever his name was.
Jude Law. Judd Apatow.
I'm the real Jude Law from Breakfast Club. Remember all those scenes that Jude Law was in the Breakfast Club?
You remember he had a cigarette. He put it out on his arm, or his dad did.
Yeah. That was me, Jude Law, famous British actor, Jude Law. I just remembered his name, but I think it's funnier if I don't know what his name
That's fine.
is.
So wait, are you suggesting? Sorry, there was one thing you said. There's a TV show. Are you saying there's a real Ferris? Are you suggesting there's a third Ferris Bueller?
No, there is Matthew Broderick Ferris Bueller, and then there's this Ferris Bueller.
I see who's the hero.
Yes.
So whatever the name of the character that Jude Law plays, that is also the name of a real ass human who goes to a high school.
Yes, and John Hughes is a director who's making movies about these kids that he's meeting,
villain.
Apparently.
He's the Snidely Whiplash of the show.
Yes. John Hughes is this. John Hughes, rest in peace, is this guy who is somehow finding out about the antics of all of these teenagers, and he is making their lives into hit 80s movies. And so you have this Ferris Bueller, who is not fair. It's this guy's Ferris Bueller, but he also references that Matthew Broderick is Ferris Bueller.
Now, I would like to mention that this show is based in the 1990s, 4 years after the movies came out. So I am a little confused how the real life Ferris Bueller is also in high school, but that's just occurring to me. So maybe
I'm thinking that maybe they aged him up. Like these are kind of like Ferris Bueller's Day Off happened when this Ferris Bueller was in middle school. He was having a kick-ass day.
He really wasn't allowed to drive that car.
He was having a wild day.
I think maybe the time thing, because we got 16 Candles. You know what? Let's set it to the side that this is of course made in the future. Let's set it to the side. The Hughes Hughniverse.
Hughniverse. Mm-hmm.
So there is a Hughniverse full of, so it's like the CW. We've got all these shows. We've got 16 Candles to show.
We have 16 Candles. We have Breakfast Club. We have
the Lunch Club. All of those things.
We have the Lunch Club. We have the Dinner Society.
Sure. I mean, they don't say it in the movie. We're allowed to call it whatever we want.
Yeah. And there's St. Elmo's Fire. There's all of it.
Sure.
And they're all going to join forces to stop John Hughes from making shitty movies about them. And honestly, never mind. I mistook John Hughes for Robert Zemeckis for a moment, and I was like, and honestly, Marty McFly's there too.
That's fair. Now, of course, in our universe, those are all very beloved films, but in the Hughniverse, they are terrible films that everyone hates. Is that I am to understand?
I am thinking that they are also good films, but the people that are being portrayed by them hate them, and I think that they have every right to be suspect of it. Because how is John Hughes, famous director John Hughes, getting these stories?
Now that's something to explore. How is famous director John Hughes getting these stories?
Mm-hmm. But I think
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I don't remember what movie this is from, but classic 80s, man, we really are doing 80s movies. Classic 80s movie trope. Maybe there's a kid in the school who is actually a journalist and an adult pretending to be a student, and is friends with all of these kids. So we're the viewer, and we're like, wait a minute, I know all these characters from all those great movies.
Yeah.
But who the fuck is that? And they're the mole, they're the double agent. And you're like, were they in Porky's? And you're like, you fucking think they're in Porky's because you haven't seen Porky's.
Yeah, man, it's like you thought they were in Revenge of the Nerds, but you haven't seen what you heard is problematic.
And Porky's also. And you're a good Christian, so you haven't seen either of those movies. But
I don't think John Hughes did Porky's.
I don't think he did either. Did he do Revenge of the Nerds?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Anyway, and they're a mole, and they are actually working for John Hughes to
get
it all. He did do Porky's?
He did not do Porky's or Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that is my pitch.
I like the idea of that. I really do. And also because you said CW, I like the idea of a
greedy reboot.
No, I like the idea of a Crisis on Infinite Earths type situation,
right?
Where they meet.
Holy shit! They meet Molly Ringwald.
They meet Molly Ringwald, but not Molly. They meet
of course,
an older Molly Ringwald, and then we de-age her, and then we meet Molly Ringwald as she is in those movies.
So okay, wait, hold on. We need to know the name.
I'm juggling 3 universes right now.
We need the character's name in 16 Candles.
Okay. Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Molly 16 Candles. You know who I am.
Samantha
You know who
Baker.
I-
Samantha Baker. is
Samantha
the main
Baker.
character.
Okay. So we have
Real life Samantha Baker from.
we have Samantha Baker from 16 Candles, who is in that movie universe. That
the movie
John
universe.
that Hughniverse.
The
Yes.
universe.
And then we have our like real life Molly Ringwald, who is
Now
a
wait a
mom.
minute. As in you and I, and in our real world, actress
Yes.
Molly Ringwald.
Yes, we have actress Molly Ringwald.
Okay.
We have Samantha as she is in that universe.
In the movie.
In the movie.
Okay.
Because
And
as
then-
far as she knows, she's not being portrayed by an actress. As far as she knows, she's a real person.
You are really. I'm actually quite confused, but I'm gonna let you finish. But I don't. Are you saying that the movies? For my premise that Matthew Broderick is an actor in
Yes.
the television show, like in the television show,
Matthew
Broderick is
is
a real ass guy who's an actor.
Yes.
But you're also
So-
saying that his
let's
character.
just use Matthew Broderick.
That would be
Okay.
way easier because we know who Matthew Broderick
Okay.
is.
So we have. I'm saying in the Crisis on Infinite Earths,
Sure.
we have. There's an episode where this Ferris Bueller, portrayed by Charlie Schlatner,
Who's the real life Ferris Bueller?
who is yes, in his universe, he is the real life Ferris Bueller, and Matthew Broderick is an actor playing him.
I see. And then the Matthew Broderick.
I'm thinking of a Crisis on Infinite Earth situation where him and Matthew Broderick, they like meet each other, and he was like, "Hey kid, I gotta I got a job for you, but we're gonna need some help." And then out of a portal in the corner walks out Ferris Bueller. Like, so we have the real Ferris Bueller, the fake Ferris Bueller, and Matthew Broderick
From our
and-
world. Adult.
from our world.
Matthew Broderick. I see.
And then they're gonna team up with all of their counterparts, and then it's gonna go from them being like three of them to like 38, 36 of them.
Now there will be
just-
5 Molly Ringwalds. I want to be clear. So there's 3
Yeah.
actual
No,
girls, and then there's
But the
actress
funny
Molly
thing,
Ringwald.
I think that kind of like leads into some of the comedy of it, because there's only going to be one Molly Ringwald. There's going to be one real Molly Ringwald, and then the rest of them will be her characters.
Yes. So there's 3 real girls from the Hughniverse television shows.
Yeah.
And then
she's
actress
like,
Molly Ringwald from the Hughniverse television shows, and then our real life Molly
yes,
Ringwald.
and then like, so this show, Ferris Bueller, the TV series, sets up what is going to be like the Arrowverse or the Flashiverse or whatever it is.
Sure.
And and like there's like a Pretty in Pink show where they're like, "What's up?" or 16 Candles show where it's like, "What's up? I'm Samantha, whatever, I forgot her last name was."
Samantha Baker.
And Samantha Baker. And I hate the way that Molly Ringwald portrayed me. And then it's like, "What's up? I'm Ducky," or whatever from that movie. And I hate the way that that guy portrayed me. My name's Ducky. And then
he's like, "I'm the racist character. I'm not big on the racism."
Yeah, but that person talks in like a British accent or something.
Yeah,
It's
they do,
like,
because they're
that's
not.
it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, and it's like, that's not how I act at all.
And they become the real hero of the show because it's a woke show.
Yeah. And then so all that culminates into a John Hughniverse clash on Infinite Universes.
Yes.
Where they all have to face off against John Hughes.
The cast of Porky's.
In the end, after everyone has fallen, it will be the cast of Porky's that remains, that stands tall.
Yes, because
and then they get to open up that butcher shop. I don't know. I haven't seen Porky's.
the cast of Porky's teams up with Revenge of the Nerds because they're both the date rape movies,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe some of the characters from the Molly Ringwald movies as well. And they all come together to form sort of a Legion of Doom.
Oh shit!
And then the second movie, Revenge of the Nerds, because they didn't get all.
Oh my gosh! I just, dude, we messed up.
What did
We got to call NBC.
Did this happen already? There's no
Dude,
way.
Dude, we accidentally wrote Ready Player One.
Oh,
damn!
we did it again.
How
Zach, how many? Is
we just made a bunch of references that didn't really mean anything, and we done fucked around and wrote Ready Player One again.
Well, because what the listeners don't know is what the pile really is all of the episodes where we accidentally write Ready Player One.
And then
like the
Ernest
15th
Cline
time.
came over, and Ernest Cline came in and was just like, "Hey, you guys using this?" And we were like, "No, Ernest Cline, we're not using that." And he was like,
sucks.
"Okay,
We hate it.
sweet." and then we wrote Ready Player One again.
15
Damn it.
episodes of Ready Player One. God damn it. Would you like to move on to the last and final script doctor?
Absolutely.
Now that we have to throw all that away because we wrote Ready Player One again.
Wrote Ready Player One again.
I'm just going to start you with the premise. I just want you to buckle up. The show follows the exploits of attorney David Crabtree, played by Jerry Van Dyke, who, while shopping in a used car lot for a station wagon to serve as a secondary family car, instead purchases a dilapidated 1928 Porter touring car. Now, that sounds normal enough. A man goes to...
we're here. Yeah,
sure,
doy.
guy goes, buys a car, old car. It's in the 60s, so a 1928 is a very old car, but, whatever. Crabtree hears the car call his name in a woman's voice. Now, this might...
I am so sorry. I was having a disassociative episode while you were saying that.
Yep.
Did you say that? Okay, say that again.
Yep. Crabtree.
I was listening and like half listening, and because I don't think my brain was like ready for that sentence.
Crabtree hears the car call his name in a woman's voice.
Okay, cool. I heard it exactly correct. Got it.
Okay, got it. The car turns out to be the incarnation of his deceased mother because, of course, we are talking about the show My Mother, the Car. The 1960 hit My Mother, the Car. The car is his mom.
Oh.
Zach, the car is his mom.
Okay.
It's a 1966 television show. The car is his mom. Every episode is great, and I've also watched some of it on YouTube. It's all on YouTube, and it's very amazing.
Okay. You should have saved this for like the final boss battle.
My Mother, the Car? NBC has put out a lot of television shows. I've also found some other good ones, but yes.
Oh, this is an NBC show.
Of course, they're all NBC shows.
Oh, yeah.
My friends at NBC called me and told me to fix their show.
Yeah. This is great. I'm looking up some stuff right now.
Let me give you some highlights because I've read all the episode. I will watch every episode.
Well, I just want to say this, that TV Guide proclaimed it to be the second worst show of all time. Do any of the listeners have a guess as to what is the worst show of all time as picked by TV Guide?
Boop, 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 boop. What is the worst show of all time?
I'm sorry, it was not From A to Z. It was The Jerry Springer Show.
This is second only to The Jerry Springer Show as the worst television show of all time. Critics and adult viewers generally dislike the show, often savagely. That is how it's described in the Wikipedia article.
Of like The Jerry Springer Show kind of earning a place in like it's so... Like, for the time, it was so horrifying. Now we live in a Jerry Springer universe.
Sure.
It was so horrifying for the time that there were some people that actually liked it because of how, like, wild it was.
Sure.
And so I like to imagine that also, since this is the second worst show, some people were like, I really mess with My Mother the Car. This show goes there.
What's
like,
fucking wild?
When other shows don't go there, this show goes there.
That was in 2002.
This isn't your dad's mom. This isn't your dad's mom as a car show. This is it for edgy teens.
Like, can you imagine if you were reading that list in reverse? It was like, worst television show of all time, Jerry Springer Show. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then it's like, do you want to know what number 2 is? You're like, oh, I don't know, Maury Povich. I don't know. And like all the guesses you could come up with. Would anyone in the universe, would the He-Man Master of the Hughniverse ever come up with 1966 one-season television show, My Mother the Car?
Yeah, whoever wrote this TV Guide thing,
it's fucking wild.
It must have just been like they had two bones to pick. It was like, I am going after Jerry Springer because this is 2002. This is a post 9/11 world where we don't have a position in our time in our society for smut like this. And also, I have a bone to pick with My Mother the Car that I've been holding on to for the better part of 40 years.
There's an episode where the mom does get drunk on antifreeze. It seems that about halfway through the television show, like at first...
Wait, cars need it.
Look, I know. So no one can hear her talk except him at first, but it seems at some point they dropped that premise because... I
was like, what has happened is I I don't know if this is by CBS. They had like conjoining offices where someone at the Twilight Zone went fuck this and then threw it in the trash.
Yeah, they
and
threw it
then,
out the
like,
window, and someone at NBC grabbed it.
And then Dick Van Dyke was walking by, and he was like,
Well,
let's turn this My Mother the Car into a lighthearted romp.
it is Jerry Van Dyke, who I think is an off-brand Dick Van Dyke.
Oh,
Not
maybe they're
even
brothers.
old Dick. So no one can hear her except him, but that does seem to get thrown away pretty quickly because like at one point like a mailman hears the car talking, and the car gets into all these shenanigans where like at one point the mom, who is a car, the son puts a television in the garage so that she can watch TV and won't get bored. But then she like uses a telephone and like wins a sweepstakes or something. So I guess she can talk. The third to last episode, the wife, who at this point does not know the car can talk, walks in on her husband talking to a car that has the voice of his dead mother, and then alerts the media. But I guess that smooths on out. There's also like an evil guy who's like a vaudeville villain who's always trying to buy the car, and he finds out the car can talk, and he's like, "Now I really want that fucking car."
I like the idea of the ceiling for this guy is a talking car like show. You know, like that's the
actor?
ceiling. Yeah, no, because he's like, did you say the villain is a vaudeville guy?
No, I'm sorry. He's like styled after a vaudeville villain.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not
so
vaudeville.
he's Dick Dastardly, and he's trying to get this car into his wacky race.
Yeah, he is your Snidely Whiplash, and he's trying to steal the talking car.
Oh, good goodness. I'm so sorry.
So this show is obviously great, and I'm gonna watch every episode of it because it's fucking insane.
This script doctor is just, don't even reboot this show. Just put this show back on.
Yeah, just start from where you were.
Start from where you were. Just air the first season as if it's a new thing. Get all the old actors back.
Exactly.
And then just do it again. So this show is actually pretty interesting here in that this is a kind of a Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, in that there's a lot of really good creators on this show.
We can't keep talking about Flapjack, dude.
No, okay. I'm just gonna say that this show has a lot of really good creators that just found themselves on this show, and then have now worked on this and then went to go work on it says here James L. Brooks, who famously was like the executive producer of The Simpsons.
Yes,
he worked on this show, and Jay Ward, who was the writer for this show, worked on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, as well as Rhonda and Lou Grant, which are like 3 big time shows. So like they just all worked on this show together, and they were like, that was kind of weird, huh? And then they just went on to have pretty illustrious careers.
Well, I've seen the beginning of the show. I did send you, I think, either the first episode or the theme song, but it takes about 2 lines for the radio to go, "Hey, I'm your mom," and he jumps through the roof, which is pretty great. And then she's like, "You're going to break your collarbone again." And he's like, "I don't think you're my mom." And she goes, "I am." And he's like, "Okay, I guess you are." And so he's sold. Now, I've got a premise. Tell me if you've heard this before. I think I know how we can get this show back, because it's obviously a gem that should never have been canceled, and I'm going to become obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just add one thing to this. So the guy goes onto the car lot. He sees this car, and he's like, "Not exactly what I came here for, but, I don't know. Maybe this is the one." And then the radio starts lighting up and talking. And it's his mom's voice. And then his mom says, "Dave, we have to get the Allspark and help Optimus Prime." Because this is the same premise as the first Transformers movie.
That is
so. Yes. Actually, the car turns into a Transformers, and this is our new Transform. My Mother, the car, the Transformer series.
Now, I love this because I felt that there wasn't enough connection between the Autobots and humanity.
Yes, they're the reincarnation of people's mom.
I think that it is mom specifically. Yes, it's when you die, your ghost goes into a car. And with enough training, you can turn yourself into a giant kick-ass robot.
Well, the premise of the show is that when you die, you just are reincarnated, sometimes as an alligator, and sometimes as a car. So, it's within the lore.
I am eternal.
So maybe season 1 is, you're getting rid of Snidely Whiplash, you're doing your yada yada, you're getting drunk on antifreeze, but then the last episode, gun. Car is gun. Now car is gun.
Yeah. And then he was just like, Dave, we've been like, I didn't know this, but we've been in a 1,000 years war.
Season 2, my mother, the car, the gun.
Oh, okay. And that's actually going to be good because it's a kind of a play on reference to the film Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, starring Sylvester Stallone.
Yes. Have I told you about the documentary that I want to make about the making of the Transformers movies called What If Car Was Gun? TMCR, copyright.
Okay. No,
what if car was gun?
But
that's for a different time.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna accidentally mess around and like fall in love with like Michael Bay's Craft and whatever. It's gonna go out as like that's gonna be the problem because I think people are gonna want to watch it and look at they're gonna make fun of him and then they're gonna end up falling in love with Michael Bay.
So I'm saying season 2, my mother, the car, the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Where the porter does turn in and they kill the villain from season 1, like that's how they find out. Is the villain's you know what? God damn it! I want this car. I have done all this. I've made a man fall in love with your car to try to get it. I won a sweepstakes on TV to try to get it. I did all this shit to try to get your car. At one time, the villain gets a lookalike of Dave, the main character, to try to trick the car into going with him. Doesn't work. And he's like, you know what? Forget it. And he brings a fucking gun and he's like, Dave, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to blow your brains out if you don't give me this car. And then gun. And she shoots Dick Dastardly. He fucking dies. And she's like, what is this? And then the truck that's across the street, trunk, Optimus Prime, he's like, come with me. We got to roll out. That's what I'm fucking thinking.
That honestly, I was either thinking of that or as a prequel to Cars. So I think that yours is much better.
No, they're both honestly same. You know what? How about Cars 4? Chunk. They're Transformers too.
Exactly. I mean, we gotta capitalize on this. We got to synergy. That's how we're gonna get the best movies, and that's how we're going to get the rebirth of this show. My mother, the car, the gun, the cars.
My mother, the car. Yes, Cars 4, my mother, the car, the gun.
Anyway, that's our show. Thank you all so much for listening to Get Better. You can find us at Get Better Podcast on Instagram. That's Get_Better_podcast on Instagram. As we said at the top of the show, you can also reach us at meetthefockers2 fockedup@gmail.com. That is meetthefockers2 fockedup@gmail.com. And that's all we have. So we'll see you guys next week.
All right.
See you. Bye forever.